Welcome back to Jeff Rand Live. At a time when families are looking to shave a few pounds off that shopping bill, one store claims to be the answer to many hard-pressed budgets. 99p Stores says it offers customers access to a range of more than 3,000 products, all under £1. Well, the company was founded in 2001 by Hussein Lalani and his sons, who opened their first store in Holloway, North London. There are currently 149 across the UK, and this week its 150th store was opened in Dublin. The group currently employs 3,000 people and has plans to have 600 stores within the next decade. Now, the company has been shortlisted for the prestigious Private Business Awards sponsored by the accountants PwC and HSBC Bank. Joining me now is Hussein Lalani, co-founder and commercial director of 99p Stores. Nice to see you. Thank you for coming in. Look, it's a simple concept. It could hardly be simpler. But is it one that only really works in recessionary times when we are all feeling the pinch?
Absolutely not. We started the business 10 years ago when we weren't in a recession, and we had good periods of growth during then. We've grown during periods of recession and periods of non-recession. And if you look at the sector as a whole in terms of single price point retailers, we've been around for 30 years and we've been through many recessions.
What about the title, the proposition, 99p? Inflation's running at 4 to 5%. So in 5 years, anything that costs £1 today is going to cost more than £1.25. It seems to me, in the end, inflation will destroy your supply base. There simply won't be enough products to sell at 99p.
Well, not really, actually. Products which which may fall out of my price points because of inflation or maybe commodity prices or even currency fluctuations, there'll be other products underneath that will jump up and become a 99p products. Also, we price our products at 99p or less. So there's a lot of products we sell at less than 99p and they're still viable.
How do you pick products under 99p that you think people will want?
Well, the first products we always pick are branded products, brands that people recognise. And people know the value of brands. You know, if you buy a shampoo every week, you have a good idea of how much you pay for it.
Yep.
And when you see it at 99p and you see it at almost double the price in a supermarket, you instantly recognise the value.
How can you do that? I mean, they have economies of scale. You have some, but not as big as
Obviously
Tesco
not.
or Sainsbury's.
I could never have the buying power of Tesco's or Sainsbury's. But what I do is we work on less profit. You know, the old cliche, pilot high and sell it cheap. That's what we do. We're not as, let's say, greedy as some of the big supermarkets.
Is that right? And yet Tesco would say, well, our post-tax margin is less than 3%.
But actually, also, when I speak to suppliers, and when I'm talking about suppliers like branded suppliers, the big multinationals, they prefer dealing with us because I don't charge them a listing fee. I don't have all these extra charges for renting shelves in my shops. We're a very simple company to deal with. So they can cut out all the extra costs they would have had to incur dealing with Tesco's, and they can offer me like a net price.
When Wallace collapsed, whatever it was, 2 or 3 years ago, you bought some of the space or took over some of the space. You know, that was a much loved, old, trusted brand, and yet it fell apart. What did you think really happened? Why did it fail, and how is it that you've been able to fill that space and do well?
I think Woolworths failed because they forgot their proposition. They forgot they were actually a value retailer. And I think they started comparing themselves to department stores or other higher-end retailers. And they forgot that a lot of customers used to come to them to get sort of cheaper products. And they ignored the likes of us, like 99p Stores and other discounters who were slowly eating away at their profits. And when they lost like DVD business and the media business to the internet, I guess that was the final straw, and then they had nothing left to sell of value.
What about the snob value attached to some high streets? Clearly you are popular with many customers, but I saw there were protests in Stroud in Gloucestershire. They didn't want one of your stores blighting their nice high street. Is that a common reaction to 99p?
I wouldn't say it's a common reaction, but we have had that reaction in some towns, and Stroud is the perfect example. Stroud, they started a Facebook campaign against us, and I think they had 1,500 people sign up against us. On our opening day, we had 2,000 customers. In the first week, we served 14,000 customers. So I think that showed that the majority of the town actually wanted us there and were happy us being there.
And what's your response to the piece in the FT today? I put this question to Dalton Phillips earlier from the big supermarket chain Morrison's. It was an interesting piece. It basically said that the town centre retail concept is dying on its feet, and it's not just about recession. In effect, there is a structural decline. Your response?
My response is, I think the councils have a lot to answer for. It's the councils who give permission for the big out-of-town retail parks. It's the councils that give permission for the likes of Tesco's and other big supermarkets to open hypermarkets on the edge of town, and that draws people out of the town. That in that way, your town centres start dying.
And what about internet? Doesn't that?
No, I wouldn't say internet yet has that much of effect. But on top of that, it's the parking restrictions and the militant parking attendants who scare people out of town when you can go out of town and have free parking and not have to worry about getting a ticket.
Will you have one day an online proposition?
We will. I think we will, definitely. We've actually started a second brand called Family Bargains, which is not restricted to the 99p price point, and that sells anything from white goods, home textiles, and that would be perfect to put online.
All right. Well, you've got these awards later tonight. You're all jazzed up in your black tie, Reservoir Dogs outfit. When you leave here, good luck. Let's hope you win. Nice to see you. Many thanks for coming in.